AMC has a very important catalyst coming up. Let's talk about what this is, what I expect from it, and where I think the stock price could be headed. Make sure to watch to the very end of this video so you don't miss any of my AMC analysis. And if you guys want to pick up a free stock with the investing app Public, check out our link down in the description below. When you guys sign up for Public and deposit $1, not only do you get a free stock from a great selection of companies, but you also get to follow us on there and keep up to date with what we're buying, what we're selling, and of course our thoughts on the current situation in the market. But other than that, guys, let's get right into this video. Alrighty guys, here we are with AMC Entertainment. We're currently sitting around $32.70 per share, down just about 80 cents on the day from the last intraday trading session, which is of course, today is August 7th, and that was the Friday, which was yesterday, so August 6th we're looking at here, down just about 2.39% on the day. And really, not much movement here. A lot of kind of stagnation, a little bit of volatility to open the day out, and just not a lot of movement in general. Now, we'll get into more of the price action here in the later part of this video, but what I want to talk about is a big catalyst coming up this week that I have a feeling will have a huge impact on the price of AMC. And that, of course, is none other than its Q2 earnings report. And yes, I know we're on the Motley Fool. I'm sorry. It's an article I wanted to talk about and give my own thoughts on. Again, I don't disagree, or I disagree with some things they say, I agree with others. Just to let you guys know, I know a lot of people don't like the Motley Fool because, of course, different issues with, whether or not they like or dislike information that they've put out in the past. And I'm aware of that. So trust me, I'm not trying to be biased. I use a variety of different news sources. The Motley Fool for this instance is just one thing we're using this video just to let you guys know. But let's dive into this article and read a little bit about the earnings report, and I'll give my thoughts, and of course we'll see what the author's thoughts on this coming up as well, what we could be seeing, what to expect, and of course other information. So key points: AMC was losing about $120 million per month in its most recent quarter. AMC stock is up over 1,400% this year. Blockbuster movies and economic reopenings are bringing people back to theaters. So those are kind of some of the key takeaways, of course, from this article, and as well just some key points that it's going to touch on. Now let's read a little bit here. AMC Entertainment Holdings reports second quarter earnings on Monday, August 9th. This will be happening after hours, by the way. The company was devastated by the onset of the pandemic when it had to shut its doors to viewers worldwide. That led AMC to start burning through hundreds of millions of dollars as expenses piled on with no revenue coming in. There is some light at the end of the tunnel for the movie theater company. Economies are reopening and folks are returning to movie theaters. That means there's a possibility that AMC will announce it has stopped the bleeding when it reports earnings on Monday. Now, this is actually something I've been talking about for quite some time because a lot of analysts have basically been talking about it, that AMC is actually expected to do very well in its earnings report. There's actually a lot of really good estimates for AMC. They could even beat expectations as far as what we're seeing, overall for just kind of forecasts and what we could be expecting. Now, that's not guaranteed. AMC could totally go the other way. Again, there's really a limited knowledge of what's going on internally, but from what we can see on the external factors, as far as the reopening goes, as far as movie theater chains continuing to be open, ideally the numbers should be pretty decent and they should be pretty good. There should be a lot of revenue coming in. Guidance should be really good. But let's read a little bit more of this article so we can take a look kind of deeper into what's going on. So one step at a time. In the most recent quarter, AMC's cash burn rate was roughly $120 million per month. That was during a quarter in which the company earned about $148 million in revenue. Management has spent the past year working diligently on cutting costs and raising capital to survive the pandemic. Maybe there is more it can do to cut costs, but ultimately AMC will have to boost revenue to improve cash flow. The good news is that studios released a few blockbuster films in that time. Obviously, you can see them there. I'm not going to read all of them. If enough of their viewers went to an AMC theater, it could boost revenue enough to match cash flows, especially if those same folks spend a good deal of money on snacks and beverages. It doesn't take $8 buckets of popcorn and $6 cups of soda for the money to start piling up for AMC. Still, even if AMC stops the bleeding, it's not ending its troubles. The company has $5.4 billion of debt on its balance sheet, and its annualized interest expense is over $600 million. This is from a company that made over $300 million in operating income only once over the last 10 years. The next decade is not going to get much easier as streaming services are gaining traction. Several studios launch blockbuster films straight to streaming services, meaning fewer people are attending theaters. Now, I do disagree with that point, again, just because AMC has not been showing going to be incredibly super profitable in the past does not mean it can do it in the future. Past results do not necessarily predict future outcomes. Also too, AMC, again, there's a huge resurgence in movie theater demand right now. More than ever, we've seen more people wanting to go to the movies and wanting to watch in the theaters, these movies on the big screen. And that's something that you cannot get at home unless you have some crazy home theater system, which most people, of course, don't have. That being said, I think this will likely drive up revenues a lot further. And again, even with this earnings report, if there is a little piece of negative news like that, where they still have a lot of debt that they have to pay off, or they still have interest that's accruing at a relatively large and fast rate, it does not necessarily mean that earnings will play out in a negative way. Again, as long as there are shreds of good piece of news, again, I don't think that we aren't going to see terrible price action. Again, it's not guaranteed, and I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research, of course. This is just my own opinion. But I do think AMC still has some potential here. We gotta wait and see. We have to be patient with this, like any meme stock really, not meme stock, but rather just any stock related to this where it has a lot of retail interest and a lot of buyers. More than likely, we're going to see buying action if there's a little piece of good news, and the little piece of good news plays out, more than likely volume will increase and the price could go up. Big could there. So be watching it closely. Be careful. Don't be putting money on the line that you wouldn't be willing to lose, right? Because that's everything in the market is risk management, right? And that's a really big part. So let's just wrap this article here. What this could mean for investors. Analysts on Wall Street expect AMC to report revenue of $375 million and a loss per share of about 0.93 cents. If AMC's report matches those estimates, it would be solid progress. It could further boost enthusiasm from Reddit traders who have been following the stock closely, what I just said. Investors could be cautious around the stock as it has displayed wide price fluctuations and all that fun stuff. What's interesting though is that they had a negative loss per share just last earnings report, but it was also on an upward trend. More than likely, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is how it plays out. Like they're saying, they're expecting a 0.93 loss per share, but I think that could be a little bit higher. I think we could beat on expectations there. As far as revenue, again, we might be able to beat on expectations there as well. So again, I'm going to be watching very closely for those metrics and this catalyst. Let's wrap this whole video up with a little bit of technical analysis here on TradingView with AMC. This was the last trading session we saw. Not a lot of movement here, a lot of stagnation, unfortunately, and really just not much going on. Very surprising normally, because usually the week before or a couple days before earnings report, which today is of course the 7th on a Saturday, tomorrow's the 8th, and then of course Monday will be earnings, you would expect a little bit of a run up. So Monday we will have to see. We could see kind of an intraday run where we see a nice green day for AMC. We run up maybe about 4 to 5%, and then maybe either in after hours it goes crazy or it drops significantly. It's a very hard tell. AMC could drop significantly for most of the day and recover. Again, this is a very hard stock to predict just based off of a catalyst alone. There needs to be a lot more information, of course, in a wider time scale in order to truly understand what's going on here. But again, I'm going to be watching it very closely. There's going to be a lot of volatility leading up to this catalyst and leading up to this event on Monday, and we will be covering it, of course, here for you guys. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it for AMC. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video like this. If you guys want to pick up a free stock with Public, check out our link down in the description below. When you guys sign up for Public and deposit $1 with our link, you not only support the channel, but you of course also can get a free stock from a great selection of companies, and of course you get to follow us and a variety of other investors on their platform and keep up to date with what they're buying, what they're selling. But other than that, guys, that is all I have for you guys today. I'm Kyle with Finance Bro. Take it easy.